Welcome to Cricket World TV. Time for another World 2020 hotspot with me, John Pennington, in England, and Chetan Narula out in India. Chetan, how are you doing?
Hello, John, and welcome to all our viewers as well. I'm fine. Nagpur is hot, and it should be because we are at the start of the Super Tense stage. India-New Zealand should be a cracker of a game tomorrow.
Yeah, no, good to hear it's hot there. We've had a little bit of sun here in the UK, not quite as much rain as we saw in Dharamshala for some of the qualifiers, the sort of early group stages. Chetan, just quickly look back on those sort of set of matches. Eventually we saw Afghanistan come through from one group and Bangladesh come through from the other, which was pretty much as we expected. We did have a few interesting encounters along the way.
Absolutely. We had predicted Afghanistan coming through. Zimbabwe would have had a shout in there, but Afghanistan and Zimbabwe had played a bilateral series before that, and Afghanistan seemingly better than the test side that Zimbabwe are. So it was nice to see that it was not a fluke and that Afghanistan were able to build on it and come through to the group. I think the surprises were in the other group, perhaps because Ireland. They've regressed, haven't they? Losing to Oman, excellent game. I managed to catch some highlights of that. The spirit that the Oman players have shown, I would like to see them play regularly, play often. But that's a bit of a big debate right now, isn't it? That the associate nations are not really getting as many opportunities. They played the qualifiers against each other. Now they're playing Bangladesh and Zimbabwe, and they're on their way home. So. Yes, the format might need to be looked at again, but it is what it is at the moment. Oman really punched above their weight. I am worried about the state of Irish cricket at the moment. This particular bunch of players has perhaps taken Ireland cricket to where they could, and we really have to wait and see what the next generation can do. Bangladesh didn't disappoint. Tamim Iqbal getting that 100, the first T20 100 for a Bangladeshi player. I think he looks in a good nick. And as we discussed earlier, Bangladesh are a very dangerous side in this particular format because of the condensation of the format. They can particularly challenge any of the sides. The first group, then, it assumes the significance of a group of death with India and New Zealand and Australia and Pakistan and Bangladesh. Like I pointed out in one of my videos earlier as well, anybody's game on anybody's day.
Yes, absolutely right, Chetan. I think your points are valid there. With associate cricket, we'd all like to see them being given more opportunities as the ICC stands at the moment. Unfortunately, that isn't going to happen. Hopefully that can change in the future. Certainly Ireland in 2020 cricket do seem to have regressed a little. I think I said I wasn't really sure what to expect, and maybe that was about right. Other formats of the game are a little bit further ahead. So on to sort of, well, let's look at Group 2, the group of death, if you like, because you've got these fantastic sort of derbies, if you like. India play Pakistan, Bangladesh. That's always quite spicy as well. Australia and New Zealand. Starting, of course, with India, New Zealand tomorrow. Just give us a look ahead to this group. Is this really too hard to pick which two teams are going to go through at this stage?
It is a bit hard, yes, but I would say India should be one of them because of the kind of cricket that they've been playing in the last 3 months. 10 wins out of 11 matches. Yes, T20 is not really. A format where form counts for a lot. One innings on a day or one spell just ruins a particular game for a particular side. But having said that, India look really rounded. They are really well balanced with Hardik Pandya coming in. It's really looking good for a long time. India hasn't been this balanced a side. It's just the T20 format. They're not a balanced side in Tests. They're not a balanced side in ODIs. But for some reason, this is a very, very balanced side. And, you can try and pick some holes there, but each of them has performed. Maybe Yuvraj Singh, 80% out of 100%, but others, I would say, have reached 98, 99%. And you can't really ask more than that. The one thing that you can ask is that have they peaked too early? I mean, there's with everyone talking about how India are favorites and the whole country expecting India to lift the cup. A ball hasn't been bowled in the Super 10s as yet. There could be such a thing as being just carried away. New Zealand are a very tough side. Obviously, they are under the shadow of Brendan McCullum's retirement. Everywhere, the same question is being asked: why isn't he here? The answer being given is here that he he wanted to retire on his home soil in front of his home crowd, playing Australia, who are their traditional rivals, which cannot be questioned really. But having said that, you really wonder if this New Zealand side has the character to rebuild in such a short gap of time. Can Kane Williamson do what Brendan McCullum did, or rebuild the New Zealand side in his own image? Captain's image can be seen in his team. So it's going to be a tough challenge for him. But New Zealand do have some really exciting players. I really like Grant Elliott. The 2 innings that he played in the World Cup semi-final, final, they were deserving of a winner's medal, but that didn't really happen. But who can forget that innings that he played against South Africa? So I'm really looking forward to some of the knocks from him. Martin Guptill is in tremendous form as an opener. So like I said, and then there's Corey Anderson and obviously Kane Williamson. He's a world-class batsman, irrespective of the format. We've seen, even I wouldn't say he's a defensive-minded player, but even the solid players who won't really take the aerial route on every delivery, they've done well in T20 cricket as well. So Hashim Amla is a prime example, obviously. So New Zealand have the players to surprise India. I think India have had it a bit easy in 10 out of 11 games, winning 10 out of 11 games. Tomorrow's game is not going to be that easy.
Certainly isn't. And we look at the other 3 teams of the group very briefly. Chetan, a piece on Cricket World at the moment. Graham Swan has tipped Australia to win the tournament overall. What do you make of that?
I wouldn't disagree with him, obviously. They can win the tournament. Personally, I would say they are my 3rd favourites to win this tournament. India ranked favourites. The dark horses. The dark horses would be South Africa, because I like how South Africa are looking at the moment. My dark horses, or my underdogs, would be Australia, because there's been a lot of question marks about Australia giving importance to this particular tournament, importance to T20 internationals. I mean, they obviously have the Big Bash and the IPL and whatnot, but do they think that T20 internationals are important? Perhaps they do. They have the firepower. There can be no doubts about that. Aaron Finch, David Warner, Steve Smith, Glenn Maxwell. You can just count the names, and they have the firepower. There's no doubting that. But can they come together as a team? Can they fire together as a team? That is the big question mark. I think they can. I think they'll surprise a lot of people. I think they're a shoe-in for a semi-final, at least a semi-final position in this particular tournament.
Okay, unfortunately we had a slight technical issue there, but I think we just about finished up wrapping up Group 2, Chetan. So let's move on to Group 1. You briefly mentioned South Africa. We've got England, we've got the West Indies, we've got Sri Lanka. So 3 former champions there, and potentially dangerous Afghanistan as well. This one, maybe not quite the group of death as the other group, but certainly some interesting clashes up ahead.
It seems a little more easier than the group of death as compared to obviously Group 2. But again, like you said, that there are no easy games here, no easy teams here as well. You have England, who are a bit in their aggressive form. South Africa, who I really like the look of at the moment. They're the only team who's beaten India, and they have been playing here for 3 months of this particular season, first 3 months of this particular home season, and then. Obviously, you have Sri Lanka, who are not looking that good, because of the retirement of their respective senior players. A lot of responsibility heaped on the shoulders of Angelo Matthews. But then there's the West Indies, power hitters, all of them. And, we can talk about India, we can talk about New Zealand, Australia, South Africa, England, whoever. And if the West Indies players decide that, okay, just 5 matches and we're going to win all 5 of them, you can't really stop them. So they show that in the 2012 World T20 as well. So a more open group, perhaps because of Afghanistan, because Bangladesh provided that volatile element in the other group. Afghanistan too provide that, but not to the extent that that they are as threatening as Bangladesh, to be very honest. But they have improved their batting. They had a couple of very good outings against. In the first stage. So that was an improvement from the ODI World Cup. and I was pretty impressed by that. But has it really improved against the bowling attacks of England, West Indies, Sri Lanka, and South Africa? I'm not sure. So Bangladesh are more likely to guarantee you an upset in that particular group than Afghanistan in this group, which obviously makes this group a bit easier. That okay, we can get it one past Afghanistan, and then you just need the other two teams. Having said that, some of the games lined up here, we have West Indies playing England, and we have England playing South Africa. Wednesday, Friday, England playing 2 games in 3 days. It's in Mumbai. It's going to be a cracker.
Certainly, as I was just sort of mulling over those you were talking, Chetan, we've said the first group, and I agree with you, India and one other. To me, that makes a lot of sense. This one, I'm almost ruling Sri Lanka out. It's very difficult to see which then the 2 out of the remaining 3, ruling Afghanistan out as well as getting through for me. So South Africa, England, and the West Indies for me, those are going to be the 3 in the pot, if you like, for the semi-finals. Of which 2 of those 3, I'm not so sure. So are you going to stay on the fence or make a prediction?
Oh no, I can tell you my 4 semi-finalists.
Okay.
From this particular group, I like South Africa and England. West Indies are dangerous, but I like England's aggressive new look, and I want to see them do well. So I am counting on them to do well. I saw some part of their warm-up game against New Zealand. They look pretty aggressive there. So I want them to carry in that win and show that new streak. South Africa, like I said, they are my second favorites for the title. So South Africa, definitely. From the other group, obviously India, ranked favorites. The other, it's a toss-up between Australia and New Zealand for me. I think Australia will just about edge it, simply because I think both teams are lightweight on their spin options, but Australia have a bit more firepower especially because New Zealand will miss Brent McCullum there. Pakistan and Bangladesh will punch above their weight, but I think Bangladesh may cause an upset here, or 1 or 2, which might, hinder, say, somebody like Australia, especially with the, kind of spin bowling they have. So it could be interesting, but yeah, I would go with India, Australia, South Africa, and England as my 4 semi-finalists.
Good stuff, and I don't think too many people would disagree with you there, Chetan. I think there might be the odd upset here or there, but perhaps Bangladesh beating Pakistan would almost rule them both out of going through in a sense, because I can't see Bangladesh beating India, for example. So what we're really saying is that we're just about going along with what the bookmakers think the favourites to go through. Certainly India favourites over Australia up until a few weeks ago were indeed overall favourites. South Africa very, very strongly favoured by most, and then England maybe as our sort of dark horse. I agree with pretty much everything you've said there about them as well. Look at this new sort of very aggressive nature of cricket they're playing. That if it comes off, and as you say, it's 5 games, and they can maybe afford to lose a group game and still get through, there will be a very, very dangerous proposition. So that's all very much in the future. Chetan, you're going to be out and about for various games following England and India quite a lot, as well as a number of the other teams doing lots of video diaries as well. So we'll let you crack on, because I know you sort of delayed your dinner to do this hotspot for us, which we're very grateful for. So thank you very much for your time today, and we'll catch up with you as the tournament progresses.
Pleasure, John.
And thank you very much for everybody for tuning into us here on Cricket World TV. Thank you very much for watching, and bye-bye for now.